Good morning, everyone. Last week I introduced myself to those of you who came to class, and then I once again introduced myself by email for those of you who were not able to make it to the first day of classes. And today I'm recording this video because I can't be with you tomorrow. I'm very sorry, but my mom is having a pacemaker implanted, so I'd love to be with her. And I've prepared some class materials for you to go over on your own. And very specifically, I'm making this video because I would like to go over your most common mistakes from the beginning of year assessment. If you haven't completed that assessment yet, which is included in the course presentation I sent out, stop the video now and complete it, because it wouldn't make too much sense if you haven't done so yet. Okay, I'll just get started. So this is a brief message for you to understand how important mistakes are and how powerful they are too when it comes to our learning. Yeah, so we'll do very similar exercises throughout the year. You're becoming an intermediate advanced learner, so you should try to the best of your ability to avoid mistakes that pertain to previous year's grammar and vocabulary. So this is the first example, and I'd like you to read it on your own. When I arrived home, my roommate, blank, already eaten dinner. Before you move on to the next slide, I'd like you to brainstorm what possible words could go in there. Are there any clues that can help us choose any word? There are. We've got eaten in the past. That's a past participle. We've got another phrase at the beginning, when I arrived home. So that's an action that it's anchored in the past. And something took place before that one action I just mentioned. What took place? Your roommate had done something. Had. That's exact. That's exactly the answer. Why would the third option not be correct? Well, eaten, it may sound as eating, but they're not the same. So the third option is not possible, and the first one isn't possible either, because it has no connection to the present. Okay, so this is exemplified what I'd like you to do in the next slide. To give yourself the time to reflect, either write down your answers or make a mental note, and only then proceed. The sentence starts with a blank and continues with the following. Having only less than 30 minutes left to prepare the food, her dish turned out delicious and she won MasterChef. So that's a condition that's presented. And it does contrast with the result that is presented at the end of the sentence. She won MasterChef even though she only had 30 minutes. Of course, you've got many different options, but considering how it's built and that ing form following the blank, you only have an option, and that's despite, because despite is used with a verb in the ing form and no preposition. Why are not Why are the first and two options not correct? Well, in spite must be followed by of, and although is never followed by an ing form. Okay, so that's the type of analysis that I'd like to come up with as you complete these exercises. I've lived in the city my whole life, so I blank the traffic. Have you thought of any possible options? I hope so. Check this out. So is one of the clues that you have in this sentence to make up your mind, because so usually presents a result that's connected to what's said before in the sentence. So it's because that person has lived in the city his or her whole life that she or he is used to the traffic. Get used to implies a process, but that person, having lived his or her whole life in the city, has already gone through that process and is absolutely used to the traffic. That person has no longer any difficulties with traffic. And used to, why is used to not possible? Not possible because that is a routine or a habit from the past. But we know that this sentence is connected to the present because of the present perfect that's been used. I've lived in the city, and that person is probably still living in the city. I'll move on to the next. Now that you see the possible options and the actual correct answer, I'd really like you, to think about the differences between arrive, come, and get. As you can see, they all go with different prepositions. Arrive, of course, can go with different prepositions other than into, but in this case, you should be using get to a place. This is the fifth sentence, and we're looking for a vocabulary item, actually. Have you got any ideas? Well, dissertation is the correct answer, and it may look as if it's something you don't use in Spanish or in English, but actually that's what we use. Dissertation. It's a very long piece of writing for which you use research, lots of reflection. Several years have blank since I saw my friend Jenna. What are the possible answers here? Well, we've got some clues. We've got a specific point in time since I saw my friend Jenna. And we're looking for a duration of time. Now, based on the possible answers and options that you were given, gone wouldn't work here because it needs a preposition, gone by. Several years have gone by, but by is not included in the example, which makes past the only possible option. This is the last one. If I moved to a new city, I'd join a dance class. Some people. What word are we missing here? What do you think? Yeah, if you don't know anybody, you would like to get to know. To know in English does not have the same meaning as in Spanish. So in the sense of meeting new people, encountering new people, you would say to get to know. Well, that one was not the last one. This is it. New York City has into the second largest city in North America. Possible options, please think about them. You've all chosen become, but if become was to be correct, then we shouldn't use the preposition into. New York has become the second largest city in North America, but we've got into, which makes brown the correct answer. If you've made some mistakes again, don't you worry, because it does take time to fix our mistakes. I hope this was helpful and that you continue working on the rest of materials that I've prepared and uploaded to our Blackboard site, week 1 within course material. Thank you, have a good day.